Hey guys, it's Brian and Kevin with Inspiring How You See That. We're the channel that talks about all different kinds of music and entertainment, and we interview some of your favorite artists. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll keep up with everything that we're doing. And today, we're going to have something a little bit different. We're going to actually bring you some tips and some ideas that we've kind of come across when you're going to festivals. Mm-hmm. So we've both been to a number of festivals together, separately, and you just kind of learn to pick up on some things. So that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to not only talk about the tips, but also some of the excitement, some of the things that you can experience. And we've received a few, comments about that and some emails, and say, hey, what do you, talk a little bit about some of the festivals and things that you've been at, because we know there's been, especially, some of the younger generation or younger kids or even families that are bringing their kids that, have sent us some messages that never brought kids or, and hey, can we bring kids? Can we do this? Can we do that? And that's kind of, we're not going to put every little detail in there. So we might have some other segments and some other things that we've, encountered, or if somebody else, that sends us a message and says, hey, what about this? We'll probably put together another segment.
Sure. Yeah. And some of the things that, this is just to help you have more fun when you go to a festival. Mm-hmm. What to expect, maybe some things to kind of prepare for. Because if you've never been to one, you don't really know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot is trial and error.
Yeah, and sometimes, it's like anything. You can get really frustrated. We talked about VIP experiences and how, we've received comments about, people saying, oh, it just takes too long, and they don't let you know till the last minute. And you and I are both planners.
Sure.
And, and sometimes that may drive, people nuts or just, they're worried about it, or they're, you're excited, but you're also irritated because you just want to get in there. But so, just these are some of the tips that we've kind of come across that, it's all good. And we can try to help you out with some of those questions.
Absolutely. Now, two very easy tips that we both agree on. One, get there early. Every day that you're going to a festival, get there early.
Yeah.
For one, it kind of lets you get your thoughts, kind of lets you survey the area, what you want to check out before there's a mad rush of people. Mm-hmm. That's always a good start. And number two, and I think this is probably most important, stay hydrated.
Yeah, and you just
plenty of water.
Drinking some water. Now in many festivals, it all depends on what they allow and what they don't allow. Some of them, it's got to be clear bags or a bag that's a certain size, which, I get it. They've safety and now if you're going to smaller venues, they sometimes just allow regular book bags, but especially in a festival setting. So when it's a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day festival. There's some that are up to 5 days now. Mm-hmm. You always want to bring all that extra stuff with you, but I found, if you bring an empty water bottle, mm-hmm. Most of them do. Of course, now with some of the COVID restrictions, but they're all coming back now where they have to have this, and I know a lot of states it's a legal deal where they have to have water fountains, especially if somebody becomes dehydrated or something, so they can.
It's a safety thing.
It's a safety, yeah. So they have to drink water. So if you bring an empty water bottle, keep a cap on it. So then that way you have a water bottle with you, and you can refill it. See, now if you bring it in full, of course they're going to take it. Yeah. And most festivals do that, and I understand they want to make money, and
people can use them as weapons. So don't bring a glass bottle.
Well, yeah,
they won't allow that.
They'll just take that away automatically. Yeah. So you come in, bring an empty bottle, one like this, an empty water bottle mm-hmm. with a cap on it, because 99.9% of the festivals give you a bottle without a cap on it, and it drives you absolutely nuts. But I do get their precautionary, because they don't want you throwing it. They do get heavy, and some concerts, don't get me wrong, they get, people are having a good time, and they get a little bit too much to drink, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. And they just start throwing stuff. Yep. So, but yeah, just do that. Now, that'll really help, because...
Absolutely.
And don't, think just because you're not thirsty that your body isn't thirsty.
Yeah, because usually they're in the summertime and they're hot, and you don't realize that you're roasting.
Yeah, this will alleviate from bad headaches too. So if you do have headaches, that's another thing too. You are allowed to bring in medication. So make sure especially on those long festivals, you have some type of Tylenol or naproxen or something.
Whatever you may need, an EpiPen if something happens, if you're stung by a bee. Make sure you've got all that stuff.
Yeah, and because even too, no matter your age, you're going to get sore. You're going to get tired of standing. So take some time, take a break in between the sets that you want to see, and then go sit down, relax. So that's
find some shade.
That's some of the things we've experienced. I mean, we've been to many, many, many festivals, and you got to sit down, man.
Yeah, you do.
So,
yeah, a couple other things we've run into. Make sure that you get a nice charging stick for your phone. And what I mean by that, one is when your phone starts to die, you can plug it in and charge it, because you're going to want to take a ton of pictures and videos. And there's so much, and your battery can go real quick. Yeah. So we've both invested in those, and they've been lifesavers. Yeah. Because you end up meeting an artist, and the last thing you want is your phone's dead. You got a great picture opportunity or a great video, and you can't.
Yeah, and I mean, there's many charging sticks out there, and we're not really out here to promote it, certain companies. But, you know, make your selection wisely and make sure you read about some of the perks of the charging stick. I mean, you can get some of the little charging sticks. And what's cool is we've been to a couple, or actually several VIP events like Breaking Benjamin. They even give you their own little charging stick, and it's pretty cool that they do.
It's like a little USB thing.
Yeah. So that's a definite must.
Yep.
You don't want to be missing that cool stage experience, or what if you're FaceTime live in it, or if you're Instagram live in it, whatever you're doing. Any social media platform,
runs down
it's
quick.
Gonna kill your phone.
Yep.
So then you don't have anything.
You don't want that.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of festivals up and coming this year, which is super exciting, and that's why we're putting this out there. I mean, there's going to be a few that we're going to go to, and of course, due to our regular work schedules, we can't make them all. We'd love to. But we're going to talk a little bit about the food areas. And when you go into festivals, we always try to find, there's a lot of vendors there. Yep. But some of them, stuff gets expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
So if, and I get it, because that vendor's charged a fee to be there, and then they have to increase their prices and all that other stuff. And then, of course, they know people want it or need it. So they're going to charge for you. So just make your selection where it's best. Sometimes you can buy passes to the festival, which do include food. Right. And overall, that becomes more beneficial in pricing. It may not seem that way, because your tickets, let's say your ticket was $400 compared to $200. Think about it. If it's a 5-day festival and you get breakfast, lunch, dinner,
and
or
air-conditioned tent, and
yeah, so you get a lot. Yeah, I mean, in the
bathrooms that you're not fighting with 500 people for one porta-john.
Yeah, so that's part of the kind of, when they have like different levels now, that's part of the VIP experience too. But they also, some venues do have there's different packages. They may have a certain food package, and if you add that all up, depending upon how much you eat, or drink. I know some of them they don't have alcohol in with them. That's all totally separate. That's a whole separate ball game there. So getting onto the food, which is...
I was going to say, we're talking about food. I'm getting a little hungry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just going to talk a little bit about that. So we've talked in a couple of, different segments too about Grandpa's Cheese Barn and some of the cheeses and stuff. But I think, it'd be awesome, if they were at a couple festivals and set up some of the desserts that they have. Yeah. But they do have great chocolate, and they gave us something, and we haven't tried this one. They gave us some milk chocolate coconut bars. Okay. We'll put that behind us there. I mean, they're just big chocolate coconut bar, and they're big. Big chocolate coconut bars. So, I mean, and I love coconut, and I love milk chocolate. Yep. So, of course, it's... a hot festival out, maybe you'll have to eat it with a spoon. So
it's going to melt.
Definitely, we're going to try this and see what we think.
Let's give it a shot.
It's almost like a haystack.
That's really good.
Or better than a Mounds bar. Mounds.
Almost has like a cinnamon flavor to it, too.
These are really good, guys.
These are really good.
We'd like to thank Grandpa's Cheese Barn for this. And, and we've done a lot of food segments on them and other locals, too, as well. And we wanted to try that out and see what we thought of that, too, as well, as we were talking about some of the food venues and the festivals. So, as you do go down through, if you don't choose to buy one of those packages, there are some vendors that do give some groupings too, almost like a, how you have the meal plan where they give you a water, or a sandwich and fries.
Right, exactly.
And that's actually a best overall price. You know, they may be $10, $12, but if you think about it, you're paying $10 for a sandwich, but then you're getting a water.
You're paying that much to go to McDonald's. I mean, let's be honest.
And so save some money.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're going to have to eat, and don't try to go into a festival at 10 a.m. or whatever if you get there at 9:30 and it goes until 12 or 1 o'clock that night, and especially trying to get out sometimes to park. That's another tip. Make sure you park at an area where you know you can get out quick. Don't park in the center of
or
excitement.
you're going to be stuck for hours. It's better to walk an extra 25 minutes than to be stuck in your car for 2 hours.
Yeah. Now, we understand, you know, especially if you have, you know, handicaps or, you know, they do...
Some have shuttles that'll help with that.
So that was one point I was going to make, is if you do have a handicap or you've had an injury or something, or maybe surgery, they do have the handicap areas where you can park, and they will let those drivers out, and they won't hold them back.
Which is fair.
Yeah. Now, when you go into certain venues, some of them are set up really nicely, but other ones are just...
It's a free-for-all.
They still got to work on that.
What I would recommend, if you are someone like that, if you have difficulty walking or you need, call the venue before it all starts, and let them know, hey, I've got this, I've got a special need. They'll work with you, and they want you to have a good time. They want you, so if they know, they can set things up beforehand and just alleviate all that stress for you.
So those are just a few of the many tips that we have. And another one before we go, we're going to probably, there's so many tips, we could probably do 10 segments. But
we'll each end with one more tip for this video.
Well, actually, I'm going to put two.
Okay.
It's going to be a combination for me. So
that works.
So I'll go first. So when you do go, make sure you check the weather forecast for two different reasons. One is, you don't want to stay warm or cool. I always recommend that a lot of these festivals are really hot, so get a dry, I love dry fit shirts.
Yes.
And it keeps you so much cooler than a cotton. And the other thing is too, if the weather's been bad and it's been raining, wear the proper shoes.
Yes.
And make sure they're comfy,
with
proper
grip.
Shoes that you can get,
exactly,
slipping, falling, muddy, whatever it may be. And or if it's going to be super hot, super nice, they have a number of different shoes out there that are breathable, light, and they're comfortable.
Yeah.
So you're
going to be on your feet all day long.
Yeah, we saw some, I won't mention some unique shoe styles, and I thought, oh man, their feet are going to be killing.
Yep.
And then by the end of the night, you see those shoes off, and they're walking in their bare feet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll go ahead. I've got two as well. My first one, we all like to have a good time. We like to drink a beer every now and then. If you're going to a festival and it's hot, don't drink a ton before it starts. Trust me. You're going to get dehydrated. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to forget everything that you wanted to experience because you're just going to feel like garbage. And it's not worth it. Save the partying for afterwards. You're going to enjoy it so much more. We've seen the negative side effects of people that drink too much before show. You don't want to be that person.
Yep.
My second one, on a much brighter note, when you first get there, and if you get there early and there's not a ton of people yet, one of the things I like to do is that's when I like to look at the vendors and go to some of some of the memorabilia and t-shirts for all the bands. And if I like things, I'll buy it then because one, they sell out, and two, a lot of places will let you leave and come back. Make sure that they will. You could take it out to your car so you're not carrying it around all day. That's why if you want to get stuff, and we're both big on getting memorabilia, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, because there's been many times I know where you've bought it, and as long as you're cool with the entry guards, and they're really understanding. They always let you in as long as they recognize you. They'll put a stamp on you.
Yep.
Or what it might even give you. Some of them give you a little pass card, and that helps out a lot because who wants to be at a concert, especially if it's hot out, dragging around.
Exactly.
Shirts,
people are bumping
bags,
into you.
Whatever it may be, yeah.
Yep. So those are some tips that we have. We love going to festivals. We know you guys will too. And we think these things will just kind of alleviate some stress and make it more enjoyable for you. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yep. So if these tips, help you or whatever you think, if there's something you experienced and you want to put it out there and we can put it in another segment, because
let us know.
Believe me, like I said, there's tons of helpful tips that we have. in store since we've been to many festivals, and I'm sure many of you out there that are on our channel or even new subscribers have been to many festivals, because that's what our channel's directed towards, is a lot of music. And tell us about some of those experiences, and or if you have questions, let us know.
Absolutely. So again, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think of this video, and like Kevin said, let us know what festivals you've been to, what tips you've picked up along the way. And as always, thanks for spending this time with us. We love you guys. God bless, and rock on.
See you next time.